If he doesn't survive, he's worth a lot to me.
I started like earlier in this podcast talking about like how even before COVID, we had stories around the country about comic book shops closing their doors like forever. It's a common occurrence. It's really fucking sad. However, today I want to like kind of bring that topic back up, but this time it's good news. All right, so in Minneapolis, there's this comic book shop called Mind's Eye Comics, and they were falling on hard times as far as they had this interview, and it's like one of the only it is the only black owned comic book shop, Eric Childs, in that area, and the store was on its way out. Like it was closing. Like they were gonna close. They had a little bit of it. They had an interview on TV, and then that interview came a little bit before. Like they started to fall a little bit on hard times. They closed their doors due to COVID concerns, and then the state shutdowns forced him to keep his doors closed. So at that point, Childs just said he was going to leave it to God and see what happens. And, he was falling on hard times. But after, with the protests and everything, with the BLM protests that kind of kicked off in the summer, the story in that interview that he did a few months prior actually caught the attention of some people like Damian Lindelof, the guy who wrote the Watchmen TV show.
Yeah.
And he reached out to him and said, "Hey, how can I help you?" So like they did this online fundraiser and that really helped the store in a big way. And then Vans got involved, and then like a comic book writer did like free signings to people who would show up. Okay. And long story short, he describes it as he was saved by like an army of angels. The shop is open and it continues to be a staple in that community. And, obviously with Black History Month, it's really fucking important to have places like that still open.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to, like, share that because I think it was a really amazing story and it, like, touched me in a special place because, obviously, support comic book shops, period. But, like, if you're lucky enough to have a Black-owned comic book shop in your area, support it, So I thought that was a really amazing story and I wanted to open with that.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh. No, I was just gonna say I really have to because I frequent Minnesota every so often and stuff. I'm gonna have to go down there.
Yeah,
check it out.
Mind's Eye Comics. Shout out to them. So I thought that was a really amazing story.
It does show you like there aren't just thinking about it, I can only imagine how many, maybe just like a handful of like black owned comic book shops because you don't even think of the first thing you think of people black people owning anything is comic book shops.
Yeah,
honestly.
that's
It's
probably
just yeah. But you were gonna say.
It's a great heartwarming story. The thing that sucks about this type of stories is that they have to happen.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Especially not just regarding this store or any stores like that, regarding every fucking business out there that's going through it right now. It sucks that there has to be heartwarming stories of somebody coming in and saving a business because of shutdowns, because of everything that's going on. It shows the state that we're in, really, economically, totally. And in fucking... It sucks, but I'm glad that story was saved up. Yeah. Or the store was saved.
Me too. I thought, obviously it's a really hard story. It's a personal, really important story to me, as far as the industry is concerned. And, at the end of the day, like, black-owned or otherwise, like, support your local shops. Like, that's really important. Like... I don't know. I thought it was a great story. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we do here. So you know what books to buy when you go and do it.
Exactly.
All right. Now, I'm done with that sentimental shit. All right. I do got some hot news coming out from Marvel, who has been on this Star Wars tip for a long, long time.
They paid $1 billion for it.
They sure did. And it seems as that they are working their way to compromise on their investment. If you are familiar with the writings of Charles Soule, he has been just he has been the spearhead of Marvel's Star Wars initiative. And in June, I believe it's June, that was the closest release date anyone's talking about. We are rolling into a miniseries based on Boba Fett from the time period of him transporting Han's body to Jabba's palace. In this miniseries, he doesn't have access to it originally, but he's taking on the worst of the worst, the bounty hunters, fighting for this prize. And I am super excited for that. It's called A War of the Bounty Hunters, Alpha number 1. It starts off in June, but it's not the only thing that starts in June. Again, Soleil and other like Star Wars creators with Marvel are launching a whole bunch of books in May through June. And this is like another one of these miniseries that start off in there. They're kicking off their I guess they're finally going back to places in the Empire Strikes Back, the original trilogy, and they're kind of launching stuff from there, along with Vader and Dr. Alpha. She's getting another series.
Okay.
It seems like interesting stuff. Like it seems like the culmination of him like writing stories here and there. What with the Ben Solo stories and some of the Lando Calrissian stuff, and it seems like he's finally he's done enough lit work. And now they're letting him cut loose because he wanted to do this series for a long time. Artist Steve McNiven, one of his most famous works was Marvel's Civil War way back when we were growing up. The story looks fucking good. Like if anything, it's interesting as hell. Like yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I believe that starts out in June. So that's what do you guys think about this?
I guess my only thing, because I saw you, I think you showed a little bit of us before the podcast. My only thing is, it does look great. It looks good. It makes Boba Fett look amazing. Competent. The thing is, after this, comes episodes. After this comes episode 6, when he dies like a bitch.
Yeah.
When he literally just gets bumped and
by somebody who's blind, somebody who can't even see him, just takes him out.
What the fuck is going on right now?
Under table dealing.
I see that.
As it should be.
So like,
betraying galactic credits.
I'm honestly hoping that the other bounty hunters that we see are like the ones that were lined up to that Darth Vader hired, because it looks like it went from being a group to just being Boba. So I wonder like what happened to them besides the robot, because we know he shows up in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And everything.
Where's Bosk?
Yeah, where's all of them? Where's that cool group of bounty hunters?
Yeah,
so
Bosk, another character that had fucking
is he the lizard guy?
Yeah, 5 minutes of screen. Not even 5 minutes of screen time. Like one scene in the lineup, and the motherfucker got all kinds. He got a video game placement.
I will say this: of all the Star Wars characters, everyone wanted to look like and wanted to be. They wanted to be Luke Skywalker. They wanted to be Han Solo. I wanted to be Bosk. I loved his outfit.
I love how they talk.
I really like that character. Like I was obsessing for him for a long time.
Doesn't he show up in Clone Wars or Rebel?
He shows up in Rebels.
Yeah. Okay, he shows up in Rebels.
Yeah. With this book coming out, I would really like them to go nuts with the type of bounty hunters that are out there.
Oh yeah, I would hope so.
And I haven't read too many things about Boba Fett's expeditions, but I would like them to also highlight just how good of a bounty hunter he is if he's supposed to be the best. I wasn't too sold with the Mandalorian and what he did.
Oh yeah, me either. I was like, you just alright. Okay.
You're just as good the whole time.
Yeah, with this book, don't just have him go, I'm the best, I'm the gunslinger, I make all the shots, and no one can outfight me. I want to see how clever he is. Yeah. I want to see him approach things at a different angle when he's obviously at a disadvantage.
Can't be that clever when he died like a bitch-ass bitch.
But hey, wouldn't it be funny if they showed that he got a head injury and stuff in the comic? Like
he hurt his ankle. He couldn't defend himself. He was injured. It wasn't 100%.
I want him to be like a football player where he gets like a head concussion and he just doesn't tell anybody and he doesn't take medication for it. So by the time he shows up to 3, he just he's completely out of it, and then he just like gets hit and he goes into the. Because then they'll explain it. They'll justify it.
Yeah, exactly.
The hilarity of it all is that this character was just supposed to be like a fucking background character, blah, blah, blah. He looks cool, but nobody's going to give a fuck about him. And they just blew up to being one of the best sellers of it, and everybody just wants to make up stories about him.
Yeah.
And he just falls off a diving board.
The man has a fucking torpedo on his back, which is a weird design in my opinion. And dangerous.
Yeah, because you have to like bend down and like.
Yeah, like you can tell they made the costume and added that on, but they didn't think of any sort of practicality.
Fuck you! This is great.
I mean, yeah, it's like
it's guided. He doesn't have to bend over.
Yeah.
He does have to.
He does a little laser. I didn't know the little antenna.
No, they only
that was meant for that. Yeah.
They only did that to pay homage to the original toy.
Yeah, I'm
because
sure.
the original toy, that's the only way.
Look, it's weird.
Because if he doesn't bend forward. The cheap plastic propeller won't go straight up. It'll
just stop
and land at his forehead, and that'll be.
And then they never actually got released because they were like, "Wait a minute, children are gonna fucking choke on this."
That's right. Are shooting at each other because we put everything in our fucking mouth when we're kids.
It's true.
Well, and sometimes
that's how priests get us.
Look, it's the survival of the fittest. Okay, not always gonna make it out of preschool.
Hey, sometimes some of us put stuff in our mouths when we're adults.
Stop it. I mean, that's true.
So, yeah, speaking of putting stuff in our mouths, that's
not
really.
You can try. You can try.
I know.
You can try. Learn from me.
That's what I was putting in my mouth. All right, guys. Okay, so before we catch on and get like really popular, like last time when I introduced my comic book reviews, I said I got some trades. All right, I know they're not fucking trades. All right, they're floppies. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Fuck you, suck my dick. All right. Anyway.
Whoa.
So,
who got you?
Nobody. But I'm prepared.
He got himself. He got himself.
Because last night,
he went home and said,
I was like,
he went home and said, I am a phony.
I was like,
me cooking dinner. Oh no!
I was thinking about somebody going to my window. You're a fucking phony. You don't know what you're talking about. You called them trays and they're floppies, you fucker. Yeah, I was like,
you know who lives in this apartment building?
I just want to live my life. So yeah, I got some comics, guys. I decided to check out Marvel's Voices Legacy #1. It's got a ton of stories in here celebrating Black History Month with star-studded lineup, woo artists and writers. Some of them being Ken Lashley, Stephanie Williams, and Danny Lore. I mean, some people that I've heard of, some that I haven't. I read some of the stories. I thought they were fun. What did you guys think?
Same. Okay. I like seeing heroes just chilling and having fun and being regular people. Yeah, I like seeing that. And you got a little bit of that within that book. You got a little lightheartedness here and there and some serious stuff here and there. None of the stories are, real big ball-busting events.
Right.
They're light digests, but fun reads nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. There's some stuff in there that I definitely enjoyed seeing, like seeing Shuri and, Riri hang out. That's something that I always thought should happen.
About Miss Marvel.
Yeah. What's her name? Do you
I want to.
I do.
I want to.
What's her name?
Kamala Khan.
Good job, see? Someone did.
Yeah, you can't forget it. It's all over the...
Kamala Khan.
Totally forced down my throat in that stupid Avengers game.
I'm kind of with Clarence and everything. They were fine. Some of the... I think my only, little critique is maybe the art style and the kind of the writing for the Blade little story. It wasn't the best. I was kind of especially the art style was
I don't think it kind of felt like a Dave Aja kind of art.
Yeah.
I wasn't really fit. I think the art is cool. I just don't think it fit for that.
Yeah. That's especially it was kind of trying to be actiony. The story was a little weird with the whole uncle thing. I was kind of like, what's going on here?
I was totally lost with that Venom. Whatever.
Oh, the Nigerian.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't know who got Venom. Because it was this happens in the Venomverse, which I'm like, okay. Is this the verse that everyone's Venom? But I'm like, who is this person who has
Venom?
Not just a symbiote, but Venom himself.
Yeah.
Or themselves.
And
So
it's weird to see that the symbiote combined with her hair like that.
I mean, I guess. And that's how else would you know she's black, I guess.
because I mean, why not form around here to have little tentacles and stuff, you know? But
do they only do they don't do that with anybody else.
No, they do that. Oh yeah,
I guess it was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Question mark.
I mean, what is the other female symbiote? Screech. Her hair remains like it's symbiotic, but it's
still there and stuff.
Yeah, it kind of takes
Yeah,
over
but when
like
Eddie
that.
Brock's girl had the symbiote, didn't do that. She Venom.
She-Venom.
But you know how old that shit was. She Venom.
Jesus.
I liked it. Apparently, it was nice for like, cause I read some of the comics when I was reading it, and apparently some of the people who actually are from Nigeria and everything, they like the commentary and stuff. But apparently, there's a lot they have to go through a lot of this protests and the government, trying to sabotage the protests and everything so they can take them out and stuff and make it like they are killing themselves or something like that. So it was apparently there was a nice little
nod to what's
that.
going on.
Yeah, the problem that's going on over there. So that's cool. Like I said, these are all kind of like contained stories. They're cool. It's hard to really say a lot about them,
right?
Because they're just so quick.
Yeah,
so,
just like
some of them a little longer than others. Most of them are just really quick.
Yeah, it's kind of like in the same vein of if you've happened to see any of the Wolverine, Red, White, and Blood shorts. I mean, there's some thought behind these, but I mean, as in like it's short, quick, to the point, little 4 or 5 page stories, and then they're done. I mean, they didn't waste my time. That's for sure. So
this reminds me of because I had a comic book club back in high school. And we tried making something like this. And
cool.
Or also in college, and we also I gave everyone like 3 pages to work with. Like give people a limit, or some more than others, and then they just work with what they got to try and make a cohesive story, close and shut thing. Which I did like. One of my favorite parts is Domino's little short story, because I never really knew anything about Domino. She just looked like some snarky character with a weird power of luck, whatever that fuck that means.
Yeah.
But I did like to see it's not only is she lucky, but you kind of zaps the luck out of the room, and so everyone around her become unlucky.
Oh, that's a cool take.
Yeah. So everyone around her has a chance. Just like she, it's good for her, and maybe the people that she's fighting, she takes a luck, and then she can use it against them. But people can get hit in the crossfire, just like happens in this book with a little girl. So it was really nice to see that little. It made me care about Domino for a little bit, because I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, and then Ken Lashley doing the art definitely helped me out.
Oh yeah, it was nice.
I don't know. All right.
Volume 2. Did you read a volume 2 of this?
Would I read that? Would I read a volume 2 of this? I don't know.
I would faithfully say no.
Oh, what happened?
If there's a volume 2 of this, would you read it?
No.
I need to see who we're talking about here. Because, of course, you start a book like this, you're going to hit the people who are, relatively a little bit more popular. Blade, Storm, obviously. I don't know what Jubilee or Kamala Khan is doing here. But, hey,
What was Thor doing there?
What
was Thor doing there?
He was shopping.
Hey, he was
commanding the.
He's not on the cover. Okay, he's not on the cover.
No, he's the god of thunder, but he cannot make it rain, my lady.
He cannot.
I like the like Jubilee's front center. Like she's the first thing you see.
Yeah.
She literally shows up for one
above
panel.
Storm. Ugh.
Right. She gets her own little story. Jubilee literally shows up for one panel.
I take it back. I would read this if it comes out once a year, and they start having a lot more fun with these books.
Like an annual. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Same.
And highlight different artists and different writers every year.
I also think maybe the story needs to be. Maybe it needs to be less stories.
Yeah, less stories.
And give more people more room to work with, because the fucking grocery store thing was like, and that was like literally it took up a page and a half or something like that. I'm like, I really need this.
I mean, we didn't need it, but
I want more like that.
It's all right.
Fine, but I want if we're gonna have that, make it put some oomph around it. I kind of want it to not, because if anything, I'm like, okay, then make it bigger, but then now we're going towards like they all might as well have their own little comic books, and then we start going to future states to sort of levels of different stories and shit. Like, I don't know. I'm guessing there needs to be a clearer balance between like the stories and how much room they get and how much we delve into these characters and stuff.
I would just say that whatever stories they tell, or they would like to tell in these, whether they be long form, short form, I mean, if the premise is interesting enough, and you know they can keep me turning the page for like 4 or 5 or however long they want to occupy my time, like cool. I mean, you know, why not? Maybe some people are busy and they got other like obligations, and they have actual books in their writing. They want to put some time to, you know, give some love and attention to lesser known like Marvel characters of color or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, why not? I'm on board. Speaking of characters of color, we're gonna move on.
Better.
Okay.
Better.
Yeah, see, you know, I'm in my bag now. That's why I'm in the bag. All right. 2 Moons by Image Comics.
2 thumbs up.
I will say, there are not
2 moons up.
I saw. Stop. All right, you. All right.
No. I saw an opening.
When I.
That door must be
Yeah,
open.
it is an opening. When I saw this previewed at the end of, there was another book I read earlier, like last month. Oh yeah, I think it was.
I want to say it was one of the crossover, or I think it was a crossover, or it was either crossover or that Scary House one.
Yeah, I want to say it was that one, because I know I saw this cover and I saw like.
Or it could have been
these 2
Scumbag
pages.
too. Could have been Scumbag too.
Maybe.
Oh, semantics.
Yeah. Either
I
way,
forgot about Scumbag.
I know, right? This was previewed in the back of one of these comics that I read, and the cover looks pretty cool, and I had to check it out.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a pretty interesting story. My takeaways are, you know, I love the art. It's very Mike Delgado, you know, kind of vibes to it. The story is pretty cool. I want to see where it goes. We got a pretty interesting premise here. Native American soldier back in World War I.
Civil War.
Back in the Civil War. There's some supernatural elements. It's a very bloody book. It doesn't shy away from the brutality of that time, and it's very like dark. And I just thought it was a cool comic, and you know, if I'm gonna hint on a cultural perspective of it, to have a Native American lead, I mean, like, those are brownie points. I mean, I'm not can't hide the ball on that one.
Not only that, I really love the setting. Civil War era, supernatural book. I liked the setting. I liked everything around it. The only thing I would kind of, in my opinion, I felt like the pacing was a little weird off. The dialogue was sometimes a little hard to read because they
capture accents.
Yeah, they capture accents of that day, even like slang of that day, which kind of makes it a little hard because the Southerners they'll capture the Southern accent and then the Northern accent and then at some point an Irish accent or Scottish, which I assume.
Yeah, like she was a foreigner, so like hers started to bleed through. Like,
right.
Whoa,
and you kind of going back and forth, and it's really cool. I think this book requires 1 or 2 readings. Like, you can't a little bit multiple readings to really digest it, to really understand it, because the dialogue, like I said, it's a little jarring.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, the book was fucking really, really well drawn, really well thought out, and a really cool premise.
Yeah, I'm super into it. And again, I can't like, I really like this page. Like, this page right here.
I'm a simple man. I saw supernatural stuff. I saw monsters. I was like, cool. That was my attention. I'm in. I want to finish the book. Simple guy.
Great spread. All right, like, really cool. And I like the idea of like the stuff that's happening. Necessarily, not everybody's seeing, but our lead character, like the dead bodies talking to him, and seeing like the his grandpa and the in that dead body that wasn't actually talking to him. Like, just elements like that, the supernatural stuff that I thought really helped this book out. And we have an opportunity here to see a different, like, you know, voice and a different hero. And like I said, this is pretty fucking cool. Setting hasn't been traveled a lot.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what they do.
It's a different era, a different place to draw stories from.
I really like. I think this is a perfect book to. When I read, I love, especially like comics and everything. I love to give character voices and everything.
Oh yeah, totally.
And what?
I said totally. I agree with you.
Oh yeah. No, like, and so when I'm reading that type of dialogue and everything, it starts to make sense because of all the media I've consumed and everything. I know how those voices kind of sound like. So the dialogue activates those type of voices. So I start saying them, and the dialogue starts to kind of translate itself a little bit. Like, okay, now I get it and stuff like that. I get it. It was definitely a little harder with the Irish girl and everything.
Oh yeah.
But I really like the dialogue. It really shows you that day, especially like I'm learning a lot more about American history and everything in those earlier days and everything. So it's nice to go into that era without having. It's a small story to give you a glimpse of that world and everything.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Culture, that you can read the accents.
But I'm just saying, it's for me.
Nice.
Shut the fuck up. Don't agree with him.
I did.
Anyway, bottom line, this book is really good. I can't wait to see. You got me. Now I'm trying to see what's the world's gonna be. What's gonna happen next. Yeah, that's. More. I want more, basically. More.
Speaking of more.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking
more
of
ass.
What?
More ass. All right.
My girl.
We are going to have a little bit of a comic book discussion about this series, but just briefly, Black Widow #5.
We just learned at the same time you guys did.
No, we didn't.
We talked about it. We all forgot.
We're in the episode.
I'm the only one who didn't forget. Meta. All right. So all I'll say here, the girls are back. Kelly Thompson, Carter Grass. Thank you. That's all I'm gonna say right now. Thank you. As a fan of Black Widow for a long time, this is one of those stories that artistically and it's just as far as how it's written and how it's seen, it's packaged well. It's a good story. It's in her world. It's absolutely believable, and I thought it was a good wrap up for the first arc.
Right. That's a good opening, but catch the comic discussion that we're gonna have about it. We're gonna get much deeper into it.
Oh yes. Crossover #4. Donnie Coates, Shah Divney, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We're getting into the meats and potatoes of the crossover event. The characters have now met up with spoiler alert, the Madman character. Exactly. This is the point in the story where we're supposed to that's the draw. Like, we're in it now. Don't get me wrong. This is, Donnie's got this writing thing down packed. Like, he's pretty good at it. He can write the hell out of the story. We're in the thick of the plot now. They've got their hands on this device that will help them do the thing. I don't want to say excited, but I guess I will keep reading it.
You're curious? Curiosity's been perked, not peaked. Perked.
Yes, perked. There you go. That's where I'm at. I still don't feel like Donnie's at the point where his writing is starting to get stretched a little bit thin, but
it feels like it doesn't have that off the first few.
Yeah, because the reveal of the Madman character was supposed to be it. But for those of you who are not familiar with that character, or let's just be honest, just straight up don't care who that is.
Well, because
I'm not familiar with it.
I mean,
at all.
Let's be honest. It was a huge bait and switch, because at first we're all thinking we're gonna meet Superman.
Right.
It was literally drawn to be Superman. I was like, we're gonna finally meet the big man. So somehow they were able to get Superman in here, but it wasn't. It was just other people. And I mean, granted, it was kind of funny how the author kind of oh man, if you knew. Oh wait, you don't know about them? Because they expected no one knew about them. Man, if you read those comics, man, it was gonna be a huge reveal for you and everything. Oh well, I guess this is who you're dealing with. I mean, overall though, beyond just the reveal, this issue was a little because this is basically the plan issue. Like this
Yes.
is they basically explain what they're gonna do next. It's kind of an exposition dump when it comes to like the dome, and then now we find out that there's a portal inside the dome, and now we gotta figure out how we're gonna get back in and blah blah blah. This is basically exposition dump. So this issue wasn't gonna be so. It wasn't gonna be so exciting.
I do like the idea that they're kind of playing to the every superhero movie universe thing where there's a portal drawing
They just said that. Yeah.
multiple universes from to one, and it only cuts on every once in a while, and blah blah blah. They have to get to it. Yeah, I'm still following it, but it's like we're
I think that they kept hinting about this girl's powers, and then like she didn't use them. I was expecting her to use it towards the guy.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're talking maybe issue 5 stuff. I don't know if this is like a.
How long does the same syndicate go for?
That's the thing. I actually don't know. I thought it would. I'm thinking it's a 6. This seems like he can wrap this up honestly in issue 5, but I don't know. It could go on to 12, but with him still writing Thor and a few other things he's doing, I don't know if this would be like a 12. I would hope it's not a 12.
I wouldn't want a 12.
Yeah, not for. I mean, the premise is cool. It's cool enough, but
we're starting to see the kind of not the cracks, but it's starting to lose this little momentum.
Yeah,
The luster starting to wade off.
Yeah, like it was cool.
Yeah, but I'm starting to get a little pulled out, a little bit detached. I'm still in, but I'm getting a little bit detached from it. So this doesn't need a 12. It's pretty cool as is. I just hope we get everything that we've been hurtling towards, and probably
pay off.
Yeah. The only other thing. What else we got? Oh yeah, Last Ronin #2.
Yes.
54 pages of. It was worth the wait. It's been like.
Since October.
Yeah, a couple months after that first drop. This one wasn't $20. Let me tell you, if I had to pay $20 for this, well, actually no, I did have to pay $20 for it because I didn't sub to it, and that's why I bought that shit online. It was $8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I like to have physical copies, but this one is so
lot.
It's still a good book.
Yeah.
It did not feel like 40-something pages.
No, that's
it read
It
really fast.
That's why when you told me that, like, you read all that, Chris, I'm like, it didn't feel like. I guess I did. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The first issue was hard, but that shit, it felt like 52 pages for me. Like it felt like it. Like damn, this. This one, I'm integrated now, and these pages flew by.
Yeah.
Like
I think
quick.
It was really nice to breathe, and I think the different art styles between the sections of like flashing back really helped because they're like, okay, now we're on to this. Like I love the art style and the flashbacks with them like during the event when everything went down.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
art
me
style.
too. It's a little bit more kinetic. It's more fast paced. I liked it.
Yeah.
My favorite was the art style when he was in hermit mode.
Yeah,
in the mountains.
Yeah,
I thought
that shit. It just looked like it was scribbled on paper.
Like a memory, almost like a faded memory.
I think that was somebody. I don't read a lot of Turtles comics, but I do remember like either it was a cover artist who did like the hardcore TMNT stuff when it's like mature or whatever. But that's that black and white like grainy look. Like I think that's the same artist if I'm not like mistaken.
The original one.
So yeah, so that was like an homage to that.
That's really cool.
And I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought this whole issue was dope. Like
I said, every time he talks to his brothers, always gets me. It always hurts.
Yeah. To me, I thought when I first read it, I thought issue 1 was better. I was like, when I read it, I was kind of, like I said, kind of flew by, and I'm like, okay. Like it was just, it's the calm after the storm of that was the first issue.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, I like the way that the first issue was paced. I like blah, blah, blah. The more I simmered with it, the more I thought about it, I was like, holy fuck, this is really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, this is a perfect, just, like, follow-up to everything that was told to us in issue 1 and the way that the world is set up and, the truth bomb that gets dropped at the end. This was a really fucking just easy way into the world and kind of give you glimpses of what happened, give you glimpses of kind of what's going on. I really like how they're doing that.
Thor went out for wrath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without an emotional flurry.
It was everyone, even the guys while they were there in the comics. They're like, they knew that he was going to do that shit. Like they wanted to stop him, but there was no stopping Raph at that moment. It was just too much.
I mean, again, like I'm on the same boat. Like the issue 2 was in my mind better because issue 1 was moving at the pacing was good. Don't get me wrong, but it was moving at breakneck speeds to catch you up to a new world, a new point in time. Introducing you to a single character when we used to have 4. Like, we were getting used to a lot. Like, the growing pains were a lot. But issue 2, it slowed down. Not as much action as issue 1, but we were settling in. And I thought that this issue was super important, and it was paced really well and drawn really well. And, the story just, it took us to a familiar place. And I like where it's going. I can't wait till 4 months from now where they
I hope they continue the path of bringing in flashbacks slowly and just giving you just enough what you want.
I want to see exactly how each turtle went out.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. To itself separated, and I want to see Casey. I want to see how all that happened. The aftermath just be explained just. Slowly, just give us glimpses here and there.
This make me want to go back and pick up because they have a advertisement for like these IDW Ultimate Turtles collections. Each of them about 100 pages long. Yeah, I'm about to pick them up slowly and catch all the way up.
I would like to just say this is just an added thing. Like one of my favorite parts in the comic, or at least in issue 2, I loved it when I can't remember what the evil guy's name is. What's his name?
Hirokasaki?
Hirokasaki, yeah. When he was training with his henchmen and stuff. And then I love when his henchmen finally hit him like, you're really good. Your stance is almost masterful. They're not master enough that he pulled off
there was
fucking
only one master.
There's only one, yeah.
Clean it up!
Yeah, fucking
The
he's
fact-
a bad guy.
Like they told him to try to kill him and do their best and shit. Can't even do your best and get away. Like
You kill me or I'll kill you. And if you try and kill me, I'll kill you anyway.
What? April, baby, let the yellow go.
How else will you know it's her? How else?
The crow's eyes.
How else?
Crow's feet.
Yeah, them crow's feet and them bags.
I like how she's literally.
I'd still knock her.
I'd still knife those meat drapes.
With or without the
coat.
Both.
The
We start with, and then as she loses clothes, then she loses limbs.
Yeah, you lose limbs. You know how when people are doing it, sometimes they just snatch the wig off.
Yeah, we
snatch the body part out.
I was trying a microphone on one nub.
Stop.
Fucking pop it off.
All right.
But
Speaking of
the daughter.
She looked completely different. I wasn't sure it was her at first because she went from being that weird goth.
In that flashback, like, how'd she got black hair?
I don't know.
How'd she got black hair?
people dye their hair.
It's 2000 whatever.
Yeah.
Like she super quickly
when she roll around in the New York sewers.
She just did it like ultraviolet.
Yes.
All right, that works.
that movie that you've seen? Yeah.
Yeah, that movie you love?
Can't get away from it.
Nope.
I used that in the rap today.
It's everywhere.
All right, guys. That concludes the comic book reviews. I have 2 comic book recommendations that if you're not reading, I strongly recommend. Thor number 12, Donny Cates. There is a fight in here with the Thor frog. I keep forgetting his name. But Throg? Is it really?
It's not. I don't know.
I think it is Throg.
Oh, it is?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it is Throg.
Because they just combine Frog and Thor.
It is Throg.
Yeah.
Oh.
First page I fucking turned to.
Between the fight between Throg and the insane Dr. Donald Blake, pretty cool.
Let's not get into it too much because I definitely want to do a comic book discussion when this is wrapped up in 2 more issues.
Oh yeah, totally.
You already know what it is. Donny Cates and Thor. It's been a banger. It's been a banger. It's almost been a year.
Yeah, almost been a year, and he's still going strong on this. I really like this issue. It was another great singer. Doctor Strange shows up. Cool stuff happens.
If you're reading it, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's one of the best things that Marvel's putting out.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Speaking of another thing that I also found really, really good and enjoyable, Post Americana number 3.
It's still good.
Yes.
Okay.
It's I kick myself for not reading issue number 1. This comic just came out and I had no idea, and then I jumped on issue 2. I really enjoyed issue 2, and I also really enjoyed issue 3.
Don't get me wrong. Issue 1 is pretty good too, but issue 3 is still a banger. You can probably as you saw, you read it without even reading the first issue, but you still got all the story beats and stuff. You're fine.
Yeah,
you knew what was going on.
So it's another ragtag, really brutal, but this one's funnier as far as like the story is concerned. Like it's a dark premise, but they still lend themselves to have a little bit of fun. It's gritty. They're getting into the meats of the story now, where it's like the group has decided to band together and go out and try and take down the bubble. And we're learning some things about characters who we thought were dead, but actually they're not. And like I said, it's just another addition, another romp to this story that I find myself enjoying. It kind of feels a little bit more like satire of a world that we're not too far from.
Yeah,
honestly. And I mean, I love the art. The story's cool. What about you guys?
You know what? This really does prove that you can make a good story with any character. Well, America Chavez, her last solo run, we can live long enough to forget about it. But this one is coming out strong and really showing that it's more up to the writers and not the fault of the character and what they can do. Granted, her powers and abilities aren't on full display.
No.
So that's even better. Even harkens a point more.
Absolutely.
So you're recommending American Chavez, or
this book?
Or that's
the character's name.
Oh,
that's America Chavez.
Oh shit. Okay, I don't remember her name. I just know she had no limbs. She was Miss Limbo. She got no limbs.
Miss Limbo.
Let him sit with that.
I'm glad he said it so low that the mic won't pick it up.
Limbo.
You need to know what you did.
I know what I did.